Hey, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Bada Tipplers,
the podcast where we read the romances we used to steal off our grandmother's nightstands and drink about them. Now today we have a special guest. We are doing a crossover podcast with...
Textual Tension. Hi guys, I am your co-host Rachel.
And I am your co-host Margie.
Super excited for our very special episode. So y'all do something very similar to what we do, but we kind of look at books that are older, where you guys are looking at some of the more contemporary romances. So we thought it would be kind of fun crossover.
Yeah, we came together in the middle to read ostensibly Fabio.
Oh my god, Fabio.
Okay, the question that needs to be answered, though, is did Fabio actually write this?
I don't think he actually did.
Okay, yeah, well, you would not know this unless you kind of, hunted a little into the book, because it is not on the Library of Congress CIP page. It is, on the actual title page. It says, in collaboration with Eugenia Riley, who is an actual...
I don't think he actually wrote this.
I think he probably came up with a couple of good ideas, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah, so poor Eugenia Riley.
And this is a part series. He did Rogue, he did one called Pirate, and then Viking.
Yeah, and I think there's even one more, but I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah, so...
But I spent the whole thing to figure out, what idea may have come from Fabio. I gotta think it's that time that Ryder Remington kills a cockroach for her with his dick out.
Oh my god. It has to be.
Oh my gosh.
But that is South Carolina knighthood, by the way.
I mean, that really...
It is.
I don't know, I think he may have, stood there and acted as inspiration with his shirt open and a sword on the front cover.
I had to take the cover off.
Oh my god, I did too. I couldn't do it.
Bear to look at it, and I had to
I couldn't evaluate it in any kind of rational way, because I felt so sleazy about the whole thing because of the centerfold.
Yeah.
Just the Fabio connection.
I couldn't imagine Fabio in this role. I had to forcibly very, very think about Aidan Turner in Poldark rather than think about this Fabio on the cover character.
You don't find Fabio
so
sexy? I am so
No,
confused.
I do not. Now that you mention it,
It felt gross, and I couldn't look at the book on its own merits. Which, granted, we're not high.
So before we do the book, we have to talk about what we're drinking.
Oh yes, yeah, and then we have to talk about what people don't want to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. So I brought D'Orsay Rosé because they go to France. They go all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's get a French rosé. And I feel like a rosé goes with this book because it's kind of
Embarrassing.
yeah.
I brought this Morganelli's.
Morganelli's.
And I got some Rogue Dead Guy Ale, because it's the title of the book. But I know Courtney doesn't drink beer, so I got
I drink baby beers, yeah.
Of Charleston beers that are kind of lighter beers. So she did not that much care for the Westbrook Passion Fruit rum barrel finish beer, which I am drinking the hell out of because I love a sour. But you dig the white tie, right?
White tie Westbrook.
So it's a wheat beer with sort of almost Thai spices. It's got coriander and stuff in it. And
it's very good.
Yeah, we have some really good breweries in South Carolina now, especially Charleston, because we finally got rid of some of our blue laws, which meant that we weren't allowed to go on anything.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you guys brought...
So we brought, Love Noir. I don't know if you guys can see the label on this one, but it is, it just seemed appropriate, right?
Yeah, except that this is really creepy love.
Yeah, and it's also a rosé because, again, it just fits the book because, exactly.
Okay, so our trigger warnings. I feel like our main trigger warning is that our hero, Ryder Remington, is, let me put the tip in, guy. He is straight...
Just the tip.
Baby.
Yeah, he's pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and finally you just let him put it in there just to shut him up. To go home and, shower.
So, he's got a very date rapey vibe. There's actually, no assault in it.
No.
So, I think...
Depends on your definition of assault.
Yeah, it's more just a cocaine powder dusting over the top of this book.
We call it a powdered sugar dusting over on our podcast.
Or cocaine.
Or cocaine. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's always put hands on people that did not ask him.
He's very handsy. He's very hey, I'm just going to put you in this carriage.
No, you can't leave. He kidnaps her all the time.
She's going to get overt sexual aggressive-ness. If frat boy sexual aggressiveness is not your bag, then like skip this book.
Yeah, there's a whole passel of frat boys who are
Yes.
all behaving in the same.
So many frat boys in this book.
Oh
But
my
I like
god, Harry! She was 17!
She was 17 and couldn't speak the language.
Oh my god, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, frat boy is fucking right, alright?
It's kind of like you hit one level of frat boy with Ryder, and then Harry just blows it out of the water.
The goddamn water.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
They always are in these books. They're
Yeah.
always 17.
like, yeah. I bet Fabio loves Winger. Like, Kip Winger is like where he's at.
I don't think, I mean, I definitely don't think Fabio's
No,
attractive.
no,
God, I don't
he's
think
not.
any of us do.
None of us think that Fabio is attractive
No.
at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't worry, us too. It's not.
That's why I ripped off the cover. That's why I imagine Poldark. Like, you can't...
Right, and like,
Poldark would never.
it doesn't even, doesn't even look
feel
like
like that's the
Fabio.
Fabio in this.
looks nothing like
It's
Fabio.
not even true. Like, I had to take it off because it's just like,
Yeah, in the
what the fuck?
In the description of the book, I think...
He has black hair.
Yeah, okay, I was right. He does have dark hair. Like, the Fabio's is like this weird, husky,
Bronze.
cover.
Yeah, no.
bronzy color.
Oh god, no, definitely took the cover off of it. And I can't believe there's a fucking centerfold. Jesus Christ.
Angel at the centerfold.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to imagine, and yeah, I wish that I had ripped the cover off because we had a paperback, and I really wish I had just removed. I can't believe it came out in hardback, by the way. I did not know that.
I know.
We both got
We
it in
did.
hardback.
I
which
had
is
no idea.
Shocking.
When we bought it, I didn't even think it was going to be in hardback, and now I own it.
I can't believe it was ever originally printed in hardback.
I know,
Like, it should have just been a
no,
paperback. But because of Fabio, that's probably why
Fucking
it's a hardback.
Fabio.
Yeah.
Fucking Fabio.
So yeah, the description is like all the descriptions are very Fabio-esque. Like, okay, we'll get into the plot. And all right, so
Well, no, you always do the thing where you read the back of the book.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause yes, by the way, this is, yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to read this out loud. All right, darling, you, my love, are the most reckless passion. I never dreamed you were a lady hiding in wench's garb, a buxom barmaid in Charleston alehouse. You enchanted me with your barbed wit and ravishing beauty. Yet, when I wagered my companions that I would bed you before the night was through, little did I realize the risk to both my life and my heart. And my overpowering desires would compel me to aid you in a dangerous enterprise that would carry us across the ocean to England. But I will brave any peril just to taste the sweetness of your kiss. For you have enslaved this rogue with a promise of ecstasy and a love that will endure forever.
That's honestly not as bad as most of the book is.
I mean, yeah, that's...
That's the only part that was probably written by Fabio.
like a,
Yeah.
It's like a
So that means Fabio is eye-raping you personally.
It's like a Fabio face. Yeah.
You know, he had a clothing at
Yeah.
Sam's.
He had some clothes. Like, he was a big...
Oh my god, yes, I read about that. He has a freaking
Clothing line.
at Sam's
Oh
Club.
my god, of all stores.
I mean, we went to the same website.
I went down the fucking rabbit hole on Fabio.
Yeah.
Okay, so our plot overview. We're in Charleston, 1821.
And you know, every time we're from
Here we
South
go.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
yeah, here we go.
Okay, our hero is Ryder Remington, the name. Ugh. He's got dark hair in Fabio's face, and he's in a bar, and he sees this sassy barmaid, and her name is Natalie, and she's our heroine in disguise. Now, she had sneaking around wigs,
Yes.
and I love a bitch with a sneaking around wig.
I like
So he basically throws her in a carriage and is like, let's do this thing. And she's like, I'm a lady, which makes him not assault her.
Swipe or no
Which, like,
swiping.
completely fine.
They love assaulting. Like if you're a sex worker, you're just getting assaulted.
Oh
every
yeah, or
day.
even if you're
You're not a human.
not an undersea.
Yeah,
you,
so
if you work for a living, oh
I
my
mean, let's
goodness.
be honest. If you're a woman in this time, and working, you're not a real human.
No, absolutely. You're not a bar wench. You're
yeah,
a
yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay, I think basically what they're saying here is if you're a woman who owns a business, you're not a human.
No.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
So he is like, he totally wants to hit it. She has no time. She's trying to find her missing Aunt Love. And there's like a smuggling muslin/cotton caper. Natalie find out like owns or works at a textile mill that her drunk cousin won't take care of. There's
There's so many alcoholics in this book. Just rampant alcoholism.
No, it's a bunch of male failings.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these men who have failed women. Like, there's the only people who have their shit together in this entire book is all the women that you meet.
yeah.
They get their business done. But
Yeah, and it seems like the women are always the one that are like saving them and like bringing them out of their alcoholic depression.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's so flavor in this
With
fucking
vaginas. I was like, I don't know if vagina is part of like the 12 steps. Like
that's the 13th step.
All right, so Ryder, he's half Italian, but his name is Ryder, and he makes a bet with his friends, all of his friends, one named Harry Hampton. Hampton is a South Carolina name, so I feel like that one doesn't bother me as much. Okay, so they make a bet like, hey, you guys are going to give me all your stuff if I can have sex with this barmaid. And the bets are big. It's like a boat. There's a boat. There's like heirlooms, you know.
These are people who obviously, I think that they bet this boat back and forth like every week.
Kept beating this boat. Yeah. So, all right. So he tells Natalie, he's like, basically like to pull like the scene from 16 Candles, like, let me borrow your underwear so people think that I slept with you. And if you do that, I'll win my bet and then I'll help you. So
he always does emotional blackmail. It's always a different layer of emotional blackmail with him. Like he bribed her carriage driver. Like he kept on doing these things to like put her in a position where she had no choice but to rely on him. It was super gross. Yeah, it was yucky.
So they at least say the word slave in the book. I was like pumped about that because usually they'll just call them servants.
Yes.
So I was like,
or it's one of those things where she owns a textile mill where everybody gets a fair wage and there are no enslaved people working there.
Yeah, exactly. So the author has this really specific knowledge, and this is very South Carolina based, so pardon me. She has a really specific knowledge of South Carolina rivers. Yeah. Like she knows that a really small river like feeds into the like West Ashley.
She has been on a party boat, I think.
Yeah.
I think that she has.
So it was like, like
she's been in Charleston Harbor for like somebody's like rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, I was like, we're taking this stuff. Like this woman is like, okay, so Natalie is looking for her aunt who is straight up missing.
Yes.
Like this woman is missing, and like Ryder's like blackmailing her into like social outings. He's like, let's go on a picnic. And I was like,
well, and he does that thing where he like goes up and she's like, no, I don't want to go out with you, and he's like, all right, and then like tells the fire department that her house is on fire, and then says, no, you gotta come with me. Don't worry, officer, she couldn't have raised this false alarm. She was with me the whole time.
Yes.
Again,
it is. Yes,
options.
It is.
I know. I was like, he's a big fan of like taking an angry woman and shutting her up by kissing her,
which has never worked in the history
of an angry woman. Like, it was like,
why didn't he get bit? I don't know.
Like, I mean, I did like that she like kicked him a couple of times. Like she was like beginning
totally using that privilege of being a dude and like being able to change his behavior.
And it's not like he doesn't know how to act in like he was like a marquis or whatever. Yeah. Like he knows what the fuck to do.
Yeah. No.
Well, what he does do, I think it's fun. He code switches. So like later on in the book, they go to, you know, where his family is and where he has to like act like somebody who has some damn sense in his head. And he has to like put his hair in a ponytail. They always tell you exactly whether his hair is down or put up. And then like, so he knows how to act like a person who has some sort of social understanding. It's just that he chooses not to most of the time.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But that's like the him is he just around a different society most of the time.
So, okay, so Ryder, like, shares, like, his past about how he and his dad don't talk because his mom fell off a bridge.
Daddy issues.
Okay, so I guess she was in a carriage, and the carriage was beset by bad people while they were feeding the poor. And the dad was like, I was in Parliament, and you were at a party. Man. Yeah. And so they don't talk. But I guess this brings her and him closer. They go on, like, a picnic to an island.
Yeah, they go to like Daniel Island.
Yeah, they go to Daniel Island, and
which
like,
is a real place.
They dry hump a little bit.
Yeah, it's like they have. But meanwhile, her aunt is presumed murdered.
Anyone else but themselves in this book. The entire like.
So eventually, they do start like figure out.
Homeboy is thirsty.
Thirsty AF.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta get it in.
And what is a long way to go to get it in? I mean, he crosses an ocean. He can't go to his dick out.
That's dedication.
Yeah. Like, this is the good old days where you could just find kids.
They had urchins just like at the urchin store.
Okay.
And so they've actually have been doing some work, some detective work.
Yeah.
And they've been watching like the textiles being smuggled in because in actual history, there was like a tariff put on imported textiles at this time. So this book wants us to be on the side of the plucky, slave-owning Charleston textile mills, because like they're being undercut by a country which has not actually had a slave trade for some time.
Yeah, I gotta
so we're supposed to be completely on the side of a monstrous regime because we just happen to know somebody, I guess.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, because like her mill is not run by enslaved people, but like it certainly died with indigo, which I can promise you was not grown by free people.
Yeah.
In fact, indigo plantations are like one of the worst places to be in the U.S. like at the time. But sorry, that's my
So they decide that they have done the investigation all they can in Charleston.
Well, because this kid tells them that he saw like a lady getting on a boat.
Yeah.
Knows nothing else except that there's a lady getting on a boat. And essentially where that boat's probably going is the UK or whatever. Maybe. Who knows? There's really no...
Right.
And we all know there's only like 2 ladies in Charleston.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Okay, so they take Harry's boat, which is Ryder's boat, but which is really Harry's boat because Ryder like lied about the bet. So Natalie's playing it cool and she sees Ryder and Harry sword fight.
And she's like, you fucking morons. You're going to kill yourselves. And then who's going to have to stand here and like staunch your bleeding? It's going to be me. Saka, I swear to God, this is exactly when you go to the beach and all those like date rapists, like frat guys, they're like throwing the football at each other like very ostentatiously with their shirts off. Like that's what they do all the time. These guys, and I swear to God, I picture them as all losing their hair, but they've all like, Yeah. Oh, by the way, they dress completely anachronistically. They dress like pirate cavaliers, even though it's anyway.
Okay.
I mean, they dress like rogues.
Well, I mean, that's part of the cosplay as, but technically not. But there's this great scene, which I like to think is like what Fabio wrote himself, whereas y'all don't understand what a cockroach is, and it comes from Charleston, because I know that you're picturing whatever cockroaches you think you have, but yeah. So it's like if you look at your like ring finger, that's all of our cockroaches are that big, like, and they fly.
Palmetto bugs. Yeah.
Yes, if you were a mother of like a rich person, you would say palmetto bugs because you don't like to think that your house is infested with giant flying cockroaches because they don't fly well, and they fly like, and they'll hit you in the face when they fly. I am cool with all bugs, but and they're everywhere. You cannot keep them out of your house. But so your mother likes to say that we have palmetto bugs because they come in from outside. You have cockroaches because your house is disgusting. The nice people have palmetto bugs, but they're the same thing.
The water too. Like.
Yeah, I mean you cannot. So like when you're most likely to encounter it, like you're going to be vulnerable in the bathroom, and it comes crawling out of the sink.
Yeah, they're nightmares.
They're super gross. So I mean, when you have to see
flying out of your bunk after that is not entirely unreasonable. Then
yeah, I'm thinking about break stuff because
exactly
like, she's falling dead weight.
And how did he even? Okay, so there's a bunk, and she's falling out of the bunk. Where is he? Is he not directly below her?
I guess
it doesn't make any sense.
No.
But a roach falls on her, and she freaks out, which is understandable because I'm explaining giant freaking cockroach.
We have to explain that they're sharing a bunk because Harry thinks that she's his mistress.
Yeah, so they still are like going on with this like elaborate lie. So and Ryder's naked because of course Ryder's naked.
Yeah.
I love how he doesn't question how her hair has suddenly changed, and her accent is entirely different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed Harry because I feel like Harry was probably just like really drunk most of the time.
He's not surprised.
Whatever.
He thinks they're all different. I mean, he doesn't like recognize a woman from one day to the other.
Oh, Harry.
He just knows that it's not his turn to have the boat anymore.
So,
but yes, the Ryder sleeps naked, which is like such an aggressive thing at her.
Yes.
But then so every time something happens, like a giant cockroach lands on her, and he has to kill it with his dick out, which is very tough.
She's super down for his body, though.
Yeah.
Like, she is objectifying him.
Truth.
Which, get it, because... And
enjoy it, what you can enjoy out of this guy.
Yeah, so also, like, they played a game of 9 pins, and she got all mad about 9 pins. I was like, she needs to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, she is, like, intense. But she's 17.
Well, she's 22.
Oh, yeah, she's 22. The other, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Harry's a prostitute. Yeah, I got to, like, I'm reading another book where somebody's 17.
There's so many 17-year-olds.
But
Okay.
all this business happens in the bunks is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's always naked for it, which is like not very considerate.
Okay. So Harry figures out finally that she's not a barmaid.
Way
Like,
to go, Sherlock.
he's like, I think he sobered up a little bit. And he's like, wait a minute.
They ran out of rum.
Yeah. And so they have like a play sword fight, and Natalie gets hysterical and like runs away down to the room, and they finally like bang it out. Like,
Yeah.
But
She gives in. Like, fine. Remember, they haven't had a bath, probably, except in anything but seawater for, at what point? Like, at least, like,
well,
6
she was like,
weeks?
at least in like the sex scene, like she was like, you know, kind of into it. I mean, she gives him a hand job. It was
Yeah.
like the first hand job we've
That
experienced.
is, that's true. That
It's
is
the
our
first hand job.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Can we just talk for a second about the fucking portal of femininity?
oh my god, oh, just like portal of femininity. I wrote this portal of femininity, and then y'all hot wet noose.
What even is that? Oh my
Uh,
god, that's a new one. We've been keeping track, and that one's a new one for us.
Ooh, that's gotta be a Charleston drink you can order.
Oh my god.
At one of those, like, super frat boy bars, the hot wet deuce.
Just
awful.
such a strange way of putting it. Like, it's a separate dimension.
Okay, and what the fuck does turgid mean? Because I had to look that shit up, and I'm sorry, but distended is not fucking sexy, okay?
I'm imagining lasers.
The
Yeah.
turgid member.
Oh, yeah. Oh, somewhere in here he had a teaming member. I'm like, yeah, teaming with pubic lice. I mean,
He had a turgid member, like, and at least in this one too, there's like, and we'll get into this later, like, there's like penis description.
yeah.
Like we get
It's not just like
description-
some weird,
Yeah, okay.
vague smoke monster.
So-
yeah.
They bang it out. Natalie has the day after freak out, and Ryder's all like, baby, it's cool.
Yeah, because she is socially ruined at this point.
Yeah, and she stands up to him for that. She's like, you know what, you've ruined me. And then, again, I put Ryder Remington is every guy in college, the king of just the tip type behavior. Okay. And they always are, like, shocked about why, like, these society women don't want to be mistresses.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be down for being a mistress because, like, there's no work to it. Like,
Yeah, but then what if you like 10 pounds? And then, like, because, you know, there's not really a retirement plan. is
yeah,
the thing.
that's true. You just take that jewelry and go.
Like, I think the retirement plan is cholera.
There
Yeah.
was such, like,
All right.
they had such a double standard back then, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, quite
I mean, yeah, the lady is ruined. Dude's
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah, that
though.
is very true.
Yeah.
Okay, so they finally get to England, and Natalie is talking about her dad's alcoholism. Like, it's no, like, she is so casual, just telling everybody his business. They walk into the house, and he's, like, passed out face down in front of the fireplace, and it cracked me up, which is terrible. I mean, obviously, it's a horrible disease, but in this shitty book, I was like, this guy's living his best life.
Well, and, like, because we were told that, like, oh, I'm, like, everybody in my family is a shitty dude, so I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, how shitty can they? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. I understand now. I get it.
So they go to see Ryder's grandmother, and of course this old Italian woman has the sight. It's like, and like she's super casual about Ryder ruining Natalie.
Yeah. And then, like, hilariously, and we'll talk more about when we get to the authenticity part, is that this woman, like, knows all the rivers in Charleston, but she doesn't know that you don't just, like, walk around in the 1820s
Yeah.
with a guy you're not married to, because then forget fucking him on a ship.
Yeah.
You can't get in a carriage. Like, Darcy
Right.
couldn't write a letter to Lizzie
Yeah.
Bennet, like, actually to her. This is completely insane. Like,
Grandma,
this is just not done.
Grandma blames alcoholism on the English. She's like, Italians don't get that. It's like, okay.
Italians can hold the liquor.
And then he's like, he asks the grandmother, Nona, that's what he calls her, to use her Italian powers to locate Aunt Love. And all she sees is like, so, all right, so, God, this book could have been decent if it was like 100 pages less. Like,
Yeah.
It's way too long.
They didn't know how to end it either. We'll get to that. But
Okay, so Ryder has to confront his dad. The confrontation is terrible. Everyone is insulted. Natalie starts crying. Ryder, of course, mauls her in public. You know, it's like, don't cry, and then just grabs her.
that's the only thing he knows how to do, though, to
Yeah.
be fair.
So then they're fighting about his inheritance because his dad may disown him.
But I don't understand how that didn't already happen.
All right, so the dad has this secret lady friend named Harriet, who is obviously so She wears like all black and they pray together, and then the dad feels sort of bad for how he treats Ryder.
Totally a law of economy of characters.
Yeah.
And it's kind of kinky, too. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Okay, as soon as they said quote-unquote prayer partner, I think we all know what was going down with that one.
Oh, yeah, she on her knees, but she's not praying.
Ryder goes to visit the textile mill that his dad owns. Natalie's shocked about child labor.
Yeah, did you know that they had child labor?
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody who went to 6th grade knew that they had child
And
labor.
I was like, haha, time for proof that our hero cares about child labor laws. And I was like, their little hands are good for working the machine.
Yeah, right? Well, and then, like, it's kind of hilarious because he's like, fine, all right, what I'm going to do is, like, send all these kids home. And I'm like, to starve? Dude, you are not helping.
Yeah.
They should get school or something. But he doesn't have, like, a... Sorry.
I think he does send them to school.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, he said that. But
Yeah.
then, and like, you know, you can't just like send kids to school either. You actually have to support them in like 1,000 other ways. Imagine the tenement these kids live in. Yeah, all he did was send them home. These kids are all getting their asses whipped today for losing their jobs.
So, all right, Ryder recognized that the smuggled cloth that he saw in Charleston was his father's. It has like the type of warp. And of course, he had told Natalie because reasons. You
And
know,
then
there's
it's
always reasons.
It's an idiot plot from there
Yeah.
on. People will not have a conversation.
No. So, yeah, Natalie is annoyed that he's leaving her out of, like, investigations. He kisses her to shut her up. They're circling around marriage talks. And basically, it's like he goes out to investigate, and he's like, hey, London's a lot bigger than Charleston. Maybe you shouldn't come and investigate. And then she goes into romance novel idiot mode.
Yes.
Where she's like, gonna be sneaking around. You know,
Yeah.
he's cheating on me, blah, blah, blah.
And while she was very competent at this in Charleston, which is, by
Yeah.
the way, not where she's from.
No.
She is from London. She is not competent at it in London. Like, she just, like, screws the pooch every single time, which is, it just doesn't seem, it seems out of character because they had to make the plot work.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
And I feel like this runs into, like, every single freaking rom-com trope and is why I hate rom-coms. None of this would happen if they just fucking talk to each other. Like, is that so goddamn hard to do? I don't understand.
Rachel, yes.
Yeah. That's also my least favorite thing. It drives me.
Yeah.
Every episode of Frasier is like that. Like, I really want to like Frasier, but like literally, because it's look at me, it's so me. But like every single goddamn episode is people who just will not. If they had said the conversation that got interrupted 18 times, yeah, there would be no issue whatsoever. So I also cannot stand that, and this does this too.
Okay, so he's investigating. She catches him talking to a prostitute. She gets mad.
Which is exactly how they met, though. So
Yeah.
I don't see.
He's investigating again. She sees him with another prostitute, and then somehow a fight breaks out where
They lose Harry.
a hooker hits Ryder with a fish. I don't even know
The cops come, like the Keystone Cops.
because she called it. Yeah.
And the whole thing is insane. And they lost Harry and didn't even care.
Harry's just gone.
He's just
They
gone.
don't give a shit.
No. Harry's either dead or captured by dangerous men. Well, they also did this great interrogation scene where they pick up somebody, and that was earlier, I think. And their idea of how to interrogate people is just to drink with them.
Yeah.
And that's their friend now. Like
Yeah.
their little buddy.
Yeah, he like shows up later and they're just drinking in the bar together and they're just best friends now. I don't know.
Because I guess to this kind of guy, everything is a joke.
Like, they're not very good at sneaking around.
No, but like nothing is serious because they
No.
always just like, spend half the time at the bar anyway.
Okay, so post
I'm going to open this red Road Dead Guy ale.
So post bar, like river fight, Natalie and Ryder go to a brothel where he can clean up, and they have some doing it where there's a mirror, and we have confirmation of oral.
Yes.
Like,
You have to get to the 90s
yeah,
for
the
all
90s like does not, yeah, like maybe I feel like there was an allusion to it in the Christmas Sex Witch book.
But you couldn't tell.
Yeah, but
You couldn't tell.
so they have oral, and then she is digging that mirror hard.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she is in for that mirror.
But
But again, Harry
this
and
is-
Aunt Love are still missing, and nobody gives a shit.
Yes.
So at a party, we find out that Harriet is Aunt Love,
Duh.
and we find out about Ryder knowing about the special cloth, and then we do the jump to conclusion that
Which you always, man, these people are like frauds.
And then he tells Natalie he loves her, and she's like, how can I? She jumps to conclusion about the special clause. Then he tells her that he loves her, and she's like, I can't trust you.
She thinks he's in on it, is the thing.
Yeah. And then I'm like, how are there still 100 pages of this book? There's still 100 pages.
On.
God. And then, okay. Then you find out that Aunt Love is fucking the shit out of Ryder's dad. And, like, they are having, like, super dirty sex. And it's kind of like, and we'll get into this later, but the one thing I'm going to give this book is that older women are not neutered. Like, these older people are healthy sex lives, like, because then we...
And sometimes unhealthy sex lives, because, like, his dad has issues of all kinds.
Oh, but they're like, you know, we're going to play the punishment game.
Yeah, like, balls slapping, like...
50 Shades of Aunt Love.
Yes, okay. All right, so... I was like, oh, hell, these old people are fucking wild getting fucked. Get it, Aunt Love.
Get it, girl.
Okay. Then we start with the I love you, but I can't be with you business, and it's super tedious. Aunt Love, again, is winning the book because she's going to marry this rich-ass dude. And she's like, I love him. He's rich. We have great sex. Everything's awesome.
Also, he's old, so, I mean, like, how long will I possibly have to, have to put up with it, right?
We find out that Natalie is pregnant, and she's about to ghost Ryder. Like, she is about to just go back to Charleston without telling.
And then just think she's a widow or whatever, which you could totally do.
But Aunt Love blows up her
And then
spot.
she straight up just rats to Ryder.
Right?
Freaking Aunt Love.
Aunt Love. Aunt Love is obviously the one who you cannot tell a secret to.
And so, like, they yell at each other for a minute. Like, Ryder comes in and is like, you were going to take my baby, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, they finally just...
Like, you know how many babies this man probably has?
I know. They have, like, a 20-minute... They finally have a 20-minute conversation, though, and then, like, are fine.
Yeah.
Like, they actually talk to each other and, like, are cool.
If only. Yeah.
And so, now that the dad and Ryder are both getting some on the reg, like, they make up.
They're, like, calmer now.
So, these two get married. They honeymoon in Paris.
And this book is still going.
Yeah. And Harry's still missing.
They haven't even said anything in, like, 200 pages.
Nobody gives a shit that this guy's missing.
I mean, like, fuck you, Harry, right? Like, right?
So,
I mean, nothing you can do if he's already dead, so, right?
Okay, so I guess... All right, so Natalie's mom was French, and she left Natalie's dad because of, like, actual reasons, like political reasons.
Yeah,
and,
like, she was a Napoleonist, and her dad wasn't, which I appreciate, that they had, like, a real legitimate breakup for, like, the kind of reasons they do.
Natalie, like, the mom was like, didn't you, like, when she finally finds her mom, she's all like, "Rrr," and mom's like, didn't you read the letters I sent? And she's like, no.
And also, I don't care because you did actually leave me.
But she found out that she tried to take her with her, and, like, he wouldn't let her take her because he wanted her to renounce her French citizenship.
Right.
But I'm also saying, like, you know, if Natalie had read a damn letter, like, instead of being like, oh, we were talking about the French citizenship, mom coming back, he's going to, like, the dad's drinking himself to death. And
they completely guilt her. They act like it is her fault that her husband is gonna drink himself to death. Like, I'm sorry, that's on him. Like, they put this a whole, like, emotional whammy on this woman.
Yeah. They just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Accuse her of cheating on her.
Yeah. And I think it had to be chased, but she was.
And, like, Natalie's dad just straight up, like, said, hey, I don't agree with you politically, so I'm not going to have sex with you anymore, which is so not okay. That's not cool.
Okay, so before we leave back to go to England, they find Harry, and Harry's got himself a 17-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's like gross Harry.
But they don't speak the same language, but that's fine.
And then they find out, like, well, she was being abused, so better with Harry. Than...
Oh, Lord. I mean, I bet she doesn't want to learn English. She's like, it's better. It's better. It's this way. So, what is beer pong?
Yeah. So,
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Ryder, Natalie, Desiree, who is the mom, Harry and his girlfriend go back to London to save the drunk dad. Okay. They get back, and they find out that William and Aunt Love were hurt trying to solve the smuggling ring that's still going on.
Oh, God. This is still the thing.
Okay. So they find out one of the workmen, or they think one of the workmen was involved. But we actually find out that it's his wife.
Duh.
Like the factory manager guy.
Yeah, the factory manager.
Which any of us who have ever read any book figured out, like, 3 seconds after meeting her. Yeah.
But
Yeah. And the whole thing is that they all thought it was him because of his, like, hat and cloak that he, like, hangs up on a hook. So, I mean, yeah.
Nobody is good at investing.
We're still trying to remember what happened.
Okay,
in this
so
plot.
the wife that had been killing people and smuggling, she takes Natalie, but then Ryder saves her because there's always got to be like a kidnap at the 11th hour.
Yeah, there has to be a prove my love by almost getting shot.
And then everyone,
There's still 20 pages left in this book.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
yeah, like,
These people are already married.
and then everyone is happy. Hooray.
And they, like, just, they pump out a lot of babies.
yeah, an epilogue, like,
Yeah. She does not know when to, or Fabio does not know when to end this damn
I
book.
was like, I don't care about these people.
What
at
a
all.
stake in it.
Yeah. All right, so,
We only care about the one baby.
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, we don't need to know about their later babies. It's
Yeah.
like, we're only invested at all in the first baby.
We're invested in the one baby.
Yes.
The one baby.
Now, you cannot sell me other babies. Like,
No.
I'm not here.
I don't have the emotion.
And can I just say, for a pregnant lady, she is drinking an awful lot.
Oh my God, she did. She was like killing it. Good for her.
I'm waking up in my bunk full of cockroaches, and there's a Ryder down there naked. Oh, yeah. You better belly that. Before I get out of this bed, I want to have at least a nip. Yeah.
So what we usually do is we take a little break and we have like a music artist. So
I don't know if we're going to have one. We're going to
Yeah.
try and get somebody from Charleston. Cause, yeah.
we'll take a little break. I've got to go. It's question time.
Oh, are we recording? Oh, we're still recording. Okay.
Okay, so question time. Question number 1 is Bechdel to bitch ratio.
Like there were women. There were actually
Yeah.
cool women in this.
Yeah.
And they did spend a lot of time out talking about the actual plot instead of Ryder's dick.
Yeah. Like, and I do like that, again, that these older women, Desiree to a lesser extent, but like Aunt Love was getting it. You know, she's this woman that you presume to be like in her 50s or 60s, like having
She's
a
kind of
romance.
daffy. She's kind
Yeah,
of,
like-
like a silly person.
And I like that she was able to have like a romance story too.
Although, God, stay in that house with that man.
Well, I think she's gonna sex some fun into
Yeah.
him. Like, I feel like he got more and more fun with the banging that he did. You know, so maybe.
Well, Aunt Love and Natalie both just sacrificed the cloth factory
Yeah,
completely.
As soon as they, like, found a man, they were both like, you know what? Fuck it. We don't need any of that. Let's just do something else.
This book is more about how these men broke down these women's lives and their livelihoods.
Yeah. And then she just let it go without even, like, a thought. Like, I thought she was going to go back and keep running it, but she's like, no.
I thought we were gonna get like a checkup on it. You know, like Rodney to see how drunk did like run it into the ground.
Like, no, Rodney just off-screen got, there.
Did he sober too? Yeah.
And one thing that I guess we could talk about later in terms of authenticity, but one thing you don't really see in these books that we did see in this one, like she had real duties at the textile mill, but you also saw a little bit of what was actually involved with Ryder taking on his dad's responsibilities, and then it sucked.
Yeah.
And that, like, it was a lot of time, and it was a lot of worry, and it was a lot of, it wasn't just all, like, hearts and flowers once he settled down.
I would have liked it if, like,
That's a job.
in the epilogue, like, you find out that she's running, like, his textile mill. Or
She's, like, got a
something,
textile empire, but
Yeah.
no, she's running a household full of, like, 80,000 children.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to do,
Yeah.
but previously she wanted to run a textile mill.
Yeah.
Well, and back in that time, it was like, if you had sex, it was like, well, guess we're gonna have another baby. And naturally, as a woman, that was the only thing that really merited you as a person, right?
Yeah. Her clock had a real specific, when she got knocked up, a real specific, like, what she would have done is found somebody to settle for in a damn hurry.
But who wants Rodney? Like, who's coming after Rodney? I mean, yeah. So, no, I agree. I mean, the women in it are interesting. Like, again, I liked Natalie at the beginning.
Yeah.
I like that she was spunky. Again, she had sneaking around wigs.
The women in this are way more interesting than the men,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
They're much more fully realized characters.
Yeah.
So you can definitely tell that Fabio didn't write it. Yeah, that's like a guarantee.
So, speaking of, number 2, the bastard to bay ratio.
I did not like this guy.
Oh, he might be my favorite. Go ahead.
I fucking hated Ryder.
So much.
Oh my god.
So much.
Yes.
It
And
really
after
is.
that, just like asshole.
Yeah. No, he was not, like, again, he's not my least favorite. that we've read, but he's my second to least favorite.
For me, the least favorite will always be the dude from The Flame and the Flower.
Yeah, like this guy's like a 3. Like he's like a 3.
Yeah, there was no hotness to make up. And of course, I kept like every time I picked the book up, I saw the cover.
Yeah,
which made me like hate him even. It was so sleazy.
I did feel like, and I feel like what they were trying to do, like maybe what the author's like intent was to convey that he was this fun time guy, which is fine, but like he doesn't have to be like, hey, you know, just like on you, like.
Well, and also that he's a sad fun guy. He's got a bad dad.
Yeah.
And that, like, you know, he can be fixed because he's got like an actual problem to be fixed. But no, I was not there for this bullshit at all whatsoever.
Like he was so just like tiresome. I was like, I don't know. Like I feel like when you're writing. There's that fine line in romance of like, especially when you're trying to do these types of like gothic-y romance where these men are supposed to be these like predatory blah, blah, blah. There's a way that you can do it that's consensual and sexy, and it's not basically wearing a bitch down.
Yeah,
you know, like.
And I feel like this guy was the kind of guy who like, people thought was fun when he was 20.
Yeah.
But he's not 20 anymore.
Right.
And you see this, like the dude at the frat party who was like way too old.
Like he comes back for the party.
Yeah, like that would be a hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we see this all the time, like, you know, living in a part of the country where grown-ass men don't wear socks and they wear, you know, boat shoes. I say this wearing actually a pair.
I know.
You know, I'm a grown-ass woman, and that's different.
You know what it is?
They don't stop dressing different, you know?
It's like, for anybody who watches Southern Charm, he's like Shep, but more aggressive than Shep.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like they were trying to make a Shep kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
Oh, God. Is he a T-Rav?
No, that's no. He really is. Yeah, he's more T-Rav.
Yeah.
When they want to make a Shep.
Okay, I guess what we should do is explain...
There's a Bravo reality show that I'm obsessed with called Southern Charm.
I can't
It's
believe you watch
filmed...
that.
You know what? Don't you judge me. So it's filmed in Charleston, and it's like all these like Southern characters, like Patricia Altschul, who has more money than God. She's on it, but our former like treasurer
of the state of South Carolina.
Wait, what?
Dealing.
Yeah, he got arrested.
He's on that. His father.
Well, he got kicked off now because
he raped somebody, a maid. He raped a maid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. But now his father, who was also Thomas Ravenel, was also what was the Secretary of State or something?
Yeah, and like,
well, he will not. He spends his fives as quickly as possible because he doesn't want Lincoln in his pocket.
Yeah, like
oh my God.
he has owned some people.
Yes, exactly. I know. I know some racists, but I've never met a racist who was that racist in real life.
Like they're like a legit powerful family. Like the new bridge that takes you from Charleston to Mount Pleasant is named for the older Ravenel.
Yes, the Fives guy. Yeah.
So anyway, he was on the show for a little bit, but then they had this other guy, Shep, who is just sort of like this lovable idiot. Like, and I feel like that's what they were trying to do with his character.
That's like the Harry.
Yeah.
But then like T-Rav is this guy who is Thomas Ravenel is way too old to be hanging out with these people.
He got a girl who was like, I mean, he's in his 50s, and the girl that was like, she was like 22, he has 2 kids with.
But he's dressed exactly like that. Like he wears his like shorts with his like fish belt, and he looks like a toddler who's dressed up to see his grandmother on Easter. Like that's how the dudes dress for that.
I'm sorry, I said.
What the fuck is this show? What is this? This is fucking bananas.
This is what we do.
And these people are drunk all
the
time.
My friend saw
the state newspaper recapped it for a while. That is our flagship newspaper. yeah, they're just drowning in a bottle, like no glass. Just do it.
So
you will have to if you want to watch.
So I feel like that's what they were trying to make this character. But I mean, like I guess you kind of hits the nail on the head because like he's really sexually aggressive, like one of these dudes would be. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm just not down for it. I think there's a way that you can make this and you can do it. And like, there's contemporary historical romance authors who do this very well, who have this kind of like playful, like you have a book set in the 1820s. Yeah. But
and that's like his like job description might be rogue.
But he's not.
Yeah. He's not going to literally kidnap you. There'll be some reason besides the kidnapping.
Yeah.
Like, you'll fall into it. Sorry. Go
That
on.
literally happened in the last book that we did, where it was like this pirate dude, and she like got on the ship, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll let you go in the morning." And then they had to like leave, and they just accidentally kidnapped her.
Like, your job, rogue, yeah.
Right? It was. Oh my god, no, that's so weird. It literally just happened.
Yeah.
And you get in a position where, like, I can't let you go right this second because of, like,
Yeah.
like we'll both die. So, like, but not this business where I bribed. I got your dad. Didn't he get somebody drunk who should have? Maybe he got Rodney drunk. He got somebody drunk who should not have been drinking, and he got because alcohol, like the main trait.
Her free slave, the man that.
Yeah.
That was, obviously he's African American, but he's free.
Yeah.
Because nobody on these,
Yeah. Like
So-
we.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's,
And I hate that.
yeah.
Hate that.
So,
But
okay.
we'll get more to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So question 3 is, would your 12-year-old self have dog-eared any pages?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, again,
I'm proud of it.
this book does give you, like, peen description.
Yes.
Like, probably the most that we've had.
It's teeming.
Yeah, it's
No,
teeming.
Night Song had more doing it than any book we've ever read. And
Yeah.
probably-
Get it, Beverly Jenkins.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
But so, yeah.
It was probably the same me that was reading Twilight and then a year later was super ashamed of it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would have, but I would have been so, like, looking back, I'm so ashamed that I would have, because this was not a good, like, relationship.
talk about bad romance.
Yeah, and that's the experience we talk a lot with this, is that, like, we were reading these books that were not good for us.
No. But again, like, we,
Yeah.
we're pre, like, having the internet for porn.
Yeah.
Like, pictures.
We had to make our own porn.
Yeah. So, like, these
And
books
find it.
are,
There was
like,
no free-range porn at the time.
so, like, you didn't really know what a penis looked like. So,
Mhm.
like, you needed this description.
And it was not helpful, because
No.
I don't like my teaming.
No. So, yeah, I would have dog-eared so many pages.
But I would not be pleased if I had a daughter who I caught reading this, and I'd be like, okay,
Let's get
so
you some better.
yeah, let's get you some, like, legit, like, actual disgusting porn, because at least then you'll have some kind of idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least with, like, regular porn, you don't have to worry about the romance part.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. It's getting paid, right?
It was such. Okay. What was the CW level of authenticity?
Terrible.
Yeah, it was.
And it's some research.
Yeah.
You have to remember reading this, that we're talking, like, just, like, maybe a decade or two after, like, Pride and Prejudice. These people are just like, yeah, that's why you're not allowed to be alone in a carriage with somebody, because you might fuck them.
Yeah.
And they did. So, like, good job for proving it.
I mean, the carriage fucking doesn't bother me as much because everybody's, like, in these books are always fucking in a carriage.
Well, yeah.
I think for me, it was more like I don't know why he is dressed like he's from 100 years
Yeah.
before.
It's insane.
And, like, at least when people are fucking in carriages, like, in these other books, like, they're talking about, like, maybe we shouldn't fuck in a carriage because, like, we're going to get caught. And that's
Yeah.
going to be, like, the usual thing is, like, people will have an indiscretion, and then he'll be like, I got to marry you.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
And then it's a thing.
yeah, and then this one, it was like, no.
And they just go walking up to people's doors together.
Yeah.
Like, and this is when they've got their respectability outfit on.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And the weirdest thing is, it doesn't come nowhere. No, go.
Almost like a rogue would do.
Oh, he
Good
is
point.
such
He's a rogue.
He's such a rogue. And she keeps calling him Lord Rogue, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, obvious insertion.
Mhm.
Through, like, the galleys and, like, added in
I was telling her about this because I have to talk about reality shows apparently. Okay, I remembered there was like a season. This was years ago of America's Next Top Model,
Oh, I love that show.
and they okay, so they did one with romance covers, and they had to pose with Fabio, and so it's like all these girls in their 20s, like their teens and 20s, having to pose with an old man, and it was the most uncomfortable I have ever felt in my life.
And
Like,
it's not just that he's an old man. There is something
Lecherous.
deeply creepy about
yes,
the dude.
there's something very lecherous. Like,
In the back of my brain is like, no.
yeah, like,
Don't be alone with that guy.
like he's a subway toucher, you know? Like, whoa. So,
Well, it's like the freaking centerfold thing.
Yes.
yes.
He's just gonna be in a towel, like, oh, God. Fucking damn it.
Like
Now
a-
I had to fight my way through.
Like a short towel,
Yeah.
too. They're like
The hand towel.
like a short rope, like, where you're like, oh, really? Oh, you're the worst.
Yeah.
So, I'm Italian. Man, my name is Fabio. Like,
Well, maybe he wants a cockroach land on his naked sleeping self, and that's what that scene was
no,
about.
I know.
I hope so. I hope so. Get it, cockroach. Just get all over him with your nasty self.
My friend, look, it's like, we lived in this apartment complex. Like, it wasn't an apartment. It was like an old house that had been divided up into, you know, like multiple apartments. And it was over near the university. And I remember my friend, like, waking up one night and, like, one of those bugs was, like, walking across her, like, chest in the night. And she was like, nope, this is it, you know.
One of them was crossing my dad's shoulder at a Ruby Tuesdays, which is no longer there, by the way.
Oh.
And, like, I told the waiter, and the waiter just kind of shrugged.
Like, yeah, so.
What am I going to do about it?
Yeah, like, there, okay. So, yeah, it's not authentic at all. It was.
But it is enough authentic that she should have known better.
Yeah.
That she
Again,
did enough research.
Bitch knows rivers.
Yeah.
she's got the rivers and estuaries down.
And it's like reading a James Bond book, like
Yeah.
by Ian Fleming, because she's always dropping names, but she's dropping names of like painters and artists and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, like instead of like brand names of watches, it's all like, you know, all these paintings that people have, but she has no idea how people behave in the past. Very weird.
Okay. How racist is it?
Oh boy.
I feel like, again, versus some of the ones that we've read set in Charleston,
yeah.
like we read these books set in Charleston where people are called servants, and we have the happy enslaved person who's part of the family, and like all that ridiculousness. She at least says the word.
But she avoids it in that different way.
Yeah,
that you see in movies like The Patriot, where like I'm a plantation owner, but I pay all my people a living
Yeah,
wage.
exactly.
You know? So it's gross in a different way.
Yeah.
Jersey.
I'm going for my third reality show reference. I was like, Jersey Shore has proven that the Italians have just as much of an alcohol problem as anyone else.
Maybe more an authenticity problem. Like, as in, like, definitely when you read books that are contemporary to this time period, they're all like, well, that's hot Italian guy, you know. So that may be a point in the book's favor, like, on a different, like, level. So, then what do we got?
Sorry.
I know. She's on her phone.
I am. Sorry. Okay, how bad are you judging your mama for reading this?
Bad.
Okay. So
If I saw this cover.
I feel like it depends on like whether or not it had the cover on it or not. Because if
Okay.
I didn't know what Fabio was,
Yeah,
I still don't want to think about my grandma reading this.
No.
Oh God.
No.
They didn't get a sense.
I know, but see, like, the centerfold is quote-unquote signed by Fabio. It says, think of me only, Fabio.
Oh God, no.
No.
Let's
I don't want to think of only
Aiden
Fabio.
Turner Poldark. Aiden Turner Poldark.
They were like,
Nope,
yeah.
not thinking of you only, Fabio. But so,
I guess I gotta show it again.
And like, why is he in a loincloth? Like, what is the purpose
Oh
of that?
my god. Not
No.
plot relevant at all.
No, not for this book at all.
I don't understand why he's in this loincloth. None of these books, not even Rogue, but any of these other ones are like loincloth based
maybe
books.
pirate, like, if he gets, you know, marooned.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. At any rate, I felt gross,
Yeah.
like, having this book in the house.
Okay.
And the thing is, it's obviously that you're, like, that's why it's so embarrassing, is that, like, clearly, this has to be bad, because normally this would be obviously ironic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, nobody would be carrying this book around except for anything but ironic reasons, but it is so sleazy that you don't trust people
Yeah.
to get that this is
I'll
a
be like,
joke.
it's for a project.
Yeah.
Project work. Yeah.
It's an assignment.
Oh god, it was bad. Like this is again. I think this might be my least favorite book. He's not my least favorite character.
The Flame of the Flower is real bad.
Yeah, Flame of the Flower is real bad, but at least I can appreciate like what she was trying to do with that. Like I can appreciate the author a little bit more.
This is like a boy band of a book. Like this is obviously assembled by some sort of weird corporate thing.
Yeah, but
which
it's
makes
like,
it worse.
It's not a fun boy band. It's like O-Town. Or
Yeah,
something.
it is actually O-Town.
Yeah, so this is like.
They obviously sold because I bought
Yeah.
my copy used, and it was well used. I mean, somebody clearly read this before I read this.
I mean, he was, I guess, for, like, I guess that's the thing, like, again, it's not for, like, it's not my thing, but, like, there were pockets of, like, female populations that were like nuts for this dude, like T-shirts with him.
Yeah, buy that Sam's Club Fabio
Yeah,
clothing.
but not even just like his clothing line, but like pictures of like romance novel cover.
There's no reason he's famous.
No,
like,
absolutely nothing.
Other than being on romance novels, right?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Like, well, what did Fabio do? He's a model, right? I mean,
That's all he did.
yeah.
Like, he was a romance novel cover guy, and like women like loved it. Like like the T-shirts.
Well, maybe
and-
it's the novelty of being able to enjoy like the female gaze. That there is a
Yeah.
person who is literally existing just for you to, like a lady in a car ad.
Yeah.
You know, he's like that guy. So in a way, maybe ogling this gross dude is like empowering at the time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like,
so we actually just looked her up, and she actually has like a lot of books that she's written.
Oh yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
figured.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I.
Yeah, and I mean the Fabio ones are listed on here, so
she could actually be a good writer, but it could be that Fabio's influence
right.
really like is what ugged this book.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll have to read some of her other ones and see.
oh Lord. I mean, she probably owns like a ranch or something.
They all do.
Yeah.
They all own a ranch. But my boss, who reads a lot more romance like Your Pleasure than I do, she had definitely heard of it,
Yeah.
like organically, not through this Fabio shit.
Right.
Because she asked me like who it was, and she says, "Oh, that's a real author." Like, oh God, hope not, because
She's not very good.
maybe she got too much oversight from the publisher, like that kind of thing with this. Like maybe that's
It would be interesting to like read just a Eugenia
Yeah.
Riley book and see like what her deal is.
or maybe the deadline was like super intense because he was doing a tour or something like that. I don't know.
to
I
just
mean,
type it away.
yeah, like that.
I want to throw every trope in there. We're doing it. See what it is.
Nobody cares. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like an experiment on her part. Like how shitty.
I made this book. Oh. Okay, so our last question is, what type of booze is this? I'm gonna say it's a fucking Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah.
It's just like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
You're gonna drink it.
It's sort of grainy, like you're like like
it's not a beer or a wine. It's a malt beverage.
yeah, like I have that stomach.
So,
So that's my.
I
Go ahead.
kind of thought it was like one of those things you saw at parties in college that was like you dump everything into it, like Jungle Juice style.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Just so
God.
that you forget there's alcohol in there.
Right, it doesn't taste like
And
it at all.
And it gets you drunk real
It
quick.
gets you real fucked up.
Real fucked up.
And you're gonna see it again, like when you leave the party, other people have already vomited it
I
out.
feel like there might be like a
God.
mild, like a half or like roofie in it too.
College, so I didn't really go to these parties. I know it's sad, right?
Oh God, you're definitely not gonna remember the night before if you drink this.
It reminds me of when I asked my friend at a party. He made me a cocktail, and I was like, I want you to get
Fuck me up.
fucked up. Which is stupid at the time, but I was so young.
Oh,
And he was and he was like, all right, I'll take care of you. And shit, did he.
Oh God.
Oh, God, I was wasted.
And if we're being honest, this is those kind of drinks that, like, I don't want to remember it the next day. I don't want to know what I did to my body. God, no.
Yeah. It's like Everclear with
It's always
some
in like
it.
a cooler. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always in like just like you take your cup and like you just Okay, where were we? We were
Well, I
talking
was going
about
to tell you, yeah, that when I was an intern in grad school, I interned at a paper and book conservation lab, and you have to go and buy Everclear because it is cheaper than like lab alcohol, and it does like the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff we have to do with like alcohol, but yeah. So you like go to the liquor store.
I need Everclear for books.
And I would be there like with my, my supervisor, and she would bust out that USCP card.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is definitely just for
Yep.
books. Just for books.
It's true. Like, yeah, we just a handle. Just. So that's probably what was in your drink.
Yeah. Now this would take me back to like, I think the reason I really just disliked him is he reminds me of like a lot of dudes that like you'd go out with that were just like hey, like those
You
little,
say
like,
so.
like those moray eel types, like when you're in college, so, like not that you go out with, but like that attach themselves to you at a party, like just sexually, like super sexually aggressive, and you're just like, oh, no, leave me alone, or like,
I kind of want to send my son to my women's college now, just so that this is not, because I did not have that experience in college.
Yeah.
Although that might have actually been me, because if you go to a women's college, there's not a lot of options, okay? So we were probably the sexual aggressors.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, it reminds me of like of this, I mean, and I don't mean this in like nothing was ever bad, but like this one person that I dated that was just so like a dog, just like constantly like, hey, 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 and be like, so that's what Ryder Remington takes me back to. So I don't ever want to revisit Ryder Remington.
And these people are obviously exhausting.
Yeah, like they seem absolutely exhausting.
This story needed to be in the back of a Cosmopolitan magazine.
Right.
Yeah, it
Oh
just
my
needed
God.
to be short, sweet, and then over.
It was so freaking long.
Long.
If Eugenia had stopped using needless adjectives,
Yes.
this book would have been 100 pages shorter. Like, this rascally rogue.
Calm down.
Just call them, like, we don't need 5 words where 3 will do.
Call it what it is.
What?
And it was so full of these words you only see in romance novels.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, no, not even in most romance novels. Like, it's like, oh,
Well, so, like, I remember at one point Ryder says to Natalie, help me out, which you wouldn't have said
No.
out. You would have just said help me or assist me or something
Mm-hmm.
like
Right,
that.
like she was using dialogue that like wasn't even appropriate for the
Time.
times.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
but when she tried to have people use dialogue that might have been historically accurate, it was
Oh,
always
so
it was terrible. So we don't want that.
Yeah.
Which even what she was told to do.
Yeah. And again, like, to me, there's really good, like, contemporary authors who do like these historical romances, and they do them in a way where it kind of riffs off the whole genre, and like they're fun. And so like you go into them not expecting like, okay, you know, like again, I'm trying to think, like the Lisa Kleypas, I think I'm saying her name terrible. Like she's got a whole series that are really fun, and like I was saying, like Julia Quinn's like early series are crazy fun, and they riff off the whole genre. Like Julia Quinn has one of her really early books. I was telling Sarah, the guy's father dies from a bee sting. So he's really, like, weird about, like, from allergic reaction. So he gets, like, put into a marriage situation because the girl that he's with gets stung by a bee and he freaks out. And it's, like, it's funny and it's light and, like, that's what I want from these. Not...
Or you could go the other direction.
Yeah.
And like your Georgette Hayers, which
Yeah.
are also Regency romances, they're more serious so that they can be fun. And they're not
Yeah.
making fun of the genre as a whole because
Yeah.
she like invented the genre.
Yeah.
But they haven't got this weird presentism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just this is terrible on all accounts.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
not a
good
good,
book.
like, example of the genre, like, at all. Like,
No.
and, you know, I think it is really, you know, we talked about it before, like, you know, the romance genre is important because it's largely created by women. And now, like, especially because people are in higher up jobs, like, you know, it's being edited, like, the editors are women and stuff. So it's basically women getting what women want. And this one is not an example of that.
And
like,
it's a
this girl-
wealth generator for women.
Yeah, this lady just got browbeaten to, like, begin with Ryder Remington.
And meanwhile, yeah, also Fabio's making money off this. As opposed to Riley.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure she was paid for it, but I'm sure she wasn't getting the kind
She
of
wasn't getting that
royalties.
Fabio money.
No.
She wasn't getting Fabio on a rock money.
That Sam's Club Fabio collection money.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we are done with Rogue.
Yeah, this was a stinker, y'all.